Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Nayzila Rahmadani, and today I'm going to present about a review of an academic article that I have read. The article I choose is titled "The Effect of Reading Strategies Instruction on EFL Learners Reading Performance" by Muhammad Reza Falizadeh, published in the Sunlux International Journal of Education in 2021. I choose this article because it focuses on something very important for English language learners. Reading strategies. Reading is one of the most essential skills in learning English, but many students still struggle to compare text effectively. This article explains how teaching reading strategies explicitly can help students improve their reading comprehension and become more independent readers. Let me begin with a short summary of the article. The research was conducted with 51 Turkish students who were learning English as a foreign language at the elementary level. The participants were divided into two groups, an experimental group and a control group. The experimental group received reading strategies instruction or RSE that were taught strategies such as previewing, finding the main idea, scanning, identifying examples and definitions, recognizing time and sequence word, reading tables and chart, making inferences and distinguishing fact from opinion. Meanwhile, the control of group was taught using traditional reading methods such as reading the passage, paraphrasing, translating, and answering exercise. The treatment lasts for 10 weeks with two sessions per week, and both groups were given a pre-test and post-test to measure their reading performance. The results were clear. The experimental group significantly outperformed the control group in their post-test scores. This means that students who were explicitly taught how to use reading strategies understood text better and performed better in reading comprehension tests. The second is the most important findings. Now, let's move on the most important findings of the study. The research showed that explicit instruction of reading strategies has a positive impact on students. A positive impact on students' reading comprehension. In other words, when students are directly taught how to approach a text, how to preview, how to identify main idea, and how to make inferences, they become more active and aware readers. They don't just read words, they process meaning, connect ideas, and monitor their own understanding. These findings support the idea that reading is not a passive process. It's an active skill that requires strategy and awareness. Moreover, the study also emphasized that teachers play a crucial role. Teachers need to know how to teach reading strategies effectively and should encourage students to use them consistently. The article suggests that teacher training programs should include materials and practice related to to reading strategy instruction. Another interesting point is that the study result align with many previous studies such as those by Agi and Zhang 2012 and Fatih and Afzali 2020 that also prove the effectiveness of reading strategy instruction in improving EFL students' comprehension. The third is why this article is relevant. I think this article is very relevant, especially for English learners in countries like Indonesia. In Indonesia, many EFL students in our classroom still rely on translating every word when they read English text. They often struggle to find the main idea or to infer meaning from context. This study reminds us that students can become better readers if they are trying to use strategies effectively. For example, before reading a passage, they can review the title and the headings to predict the topic. While reading, they can underline key idea, recognize connectors that show cause and effect, and take their understanding after each paragraph. If teachers include this strategy based activities in their lessons, students will gradually become more independent and confident readers. The fourth is my reflections and additional thought. Um, while reading this article, several thoughts came to my mind. Um, First, I wonder how today's reading strategies could be applied in digital reading environments. Nowadays, many students read from screens like ebook, new website, or social media posts. Could reading strategy instructions also work for digital text? I think it would be very useful to train students to apply these strategies when they read online. Second, I also thought about different levels of learners. The participants in this study were elementary level learners. It would be interesting to see whether intermediate or advanced students would benefit equally or whether the type of strategies that though should change depending on the proficiency level. The third is I think there is also a motivational aspect when students understand how to approach a text and realize that strategies help them understand better. They might feel more confident and motivated to read more English that in turn can develop a lifelong reading habit. Finally, this article made me reflect on the way I read English text myself. I realized that I often read without a clear purpose or plan. Now I understand that applying strategies like previewing, questioning, summarizing, and making inferences can make my reading more meaningful and efficient. The conclusion is this article by Muhammad Reza Falizadeh clearly shows that explicit instruction in reading strategies is effective in improving English reading performance among EFL's learners. It teaches you that reading is not only about vocabulary or grammar, it's also about how we approach and process the information in a text. Teaching and learning reading strategies help students become active, independent, and strategic readers. I believe that both teachers and student we can learn a lot from this study. Teachers can apply this strategy in their classroom and students can start using them in their daily reading practice. Overall, I found this article inspiring, insightful, and very relevant to English language education today. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I think that's all for me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.